And all things Uptown Music Theater. That's because they're celebrating a major milestone, 25 years of shaping young talent right here in New Orleans. The organization has provided musical theater training for hundreds of local kids over the last 25 years. The only person to talk to us about this is Mr. Delfeayo Marsalis, who is also going to be talking about some concerts y'all have coming up. A lot of exciting things. First of all, yes, congrats on 25 years. That is a huge milestone. How do you feel about that?
Yes. Well, you know, it just kind of crept up on me.
It just kind of snuck up, huh?
I started it out, and then some kids at the time, they were interested in musical theater, and this was, I think, the only outlet at that point was MySpace, and nobody was really dealing with, you know, going back to 2000. And the next thing I knew, we were at 10 years and 15, and now here we are, 25 years later, and it's been a great experience.
Yeah, time just kind of flies when you're just doing what you love and you're passionate about what you do, which I can tell, getting the kids into shape. I heard you kind of yelling at them before we came here live. Tell me what it's like year after year to kind of get these new groups of kids or all these kids that come back and watch them grow and really watch them blossom into their own.
Well, the great thing about it's Uptown Music Theater is more like family. So a lot of our alumni come back and they're working with the younger kids. And that's always been our model. So we work with kids from 8 to 18, and a lot of times they stay past that. And the idea is that the older kids serve as mentors, and then the younger kids kind of look up to the older kids and they know this is the direction that we're going in. So it's like, you know, a big cycle. In fact, our artistic director now, who's taken over my spot, was in our first year, Matthew Carroll. Our first show was actually called Kidstown. So, and that's what we'll be doing next year.
And speaking of shows, I mean, your first musical, Luther, right? Is that the music we've been hearing all morning?
Yes, this is Luther, which actually was written for a different organization. And 3 years after that, we started Uptown Music Theater and we did Kidstown. So we have a lot of fun with that.
Awesome. I can definitely tell the kids are very animated. They're very comfortable in front of the camera, which I know I can attribute to them and their personality, but a little bit of you as well, making sure they come out of their shell. Tell me about the performances you all have coming up.
Right. Well, we actually finished the performances, but last week they had the terrible weather. We were supposed to come on last week, and we couldn't. But we just performed 2 shows at the CAC, Contemporary Arts Center. But we'll be doing more things throughout the year and, you know, keeping the kids in line. And we just have 2 rules, which is, one is no yawning is allowed, especially in front of camera. So, but we have a good time.
And what's the second one? You say no yawning, and then what's the other one?
Well, we keep everything covered, like, you know, sometimes I know the new fashion is you got to show some of the belly button and everything, but that's the thing. You know, we believe that modesty is good in this situation.
Absolutely.
So, you know, I don't know if there was a book by the Delaney sisters, and they lived to be over 100 years old, and they were saying that, see, back in their days, you couldn't show an ankle. So he said it's like.
Gotcha. Well, hey, I'm glad we only see this because I have my flip-flops on today. I'm not going to lie. My feet are swollen and we're not doing it. But tell me what it means to you to continue to do what you love and pour into your community.
It's a great thing. And what I realize now is that we all have the obligation to handle what we feel is important. And Herlin Riley is here, he's playing drums. And after Hurricane Katrina, we got together, we were talking, and we said, New Orleans music is important to us. So as performers, we have to represent the New Orleans music correctly. So folks who come in town, I mean, that's cool, and they're doing their thing, but as native New Orleanians, it's important for us. So I would say anything that you're serious about, you have to do it. And my dad would always say that. He said, a lot of times, if you don't do it, it won't get done.
There we go. All right, we'll leave it at that. Well, thank you so much for joining us.